Greetings, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Deciding to Soar, Living Life Your Own Way. My name is SharRon Jamison, and I am a corporate leader, a life strategist, a minister, and a mom. And if this is your first time joining us, welcome. I am so grateful that you are here. This is an unedited, unscripted space where I share what I'm learning in my own life, as well as what I am learning from working with so many amazing leaders, healers, visionaries, entrepreneurs, and brave souls, people just like you. And today I want to have an uncomfortable conversation, a conversation that I think is really important because we have been taught and told to really monitor what we allow in our lives. And that's great advice. We have been taught and told to be mindful about hanging out and spending time with people who bring a lot of toxicity and drama into our lives. We have been taught to be mindful about what we listen to, what we read, what we see. We have been really taught to be intentional about places that we frequent. We have been taught about what we allow in our spaces through our ears, through our bodies, through our presence. We have been taught to be mindful that stepping away and limiting opinions and creating boundaries are good things to do. And all of that is true. But what happens when the information that comes to us is not bad? It's not negative. What happens when a person calls us and they want to share good news, or calls us and they want to some advice, or they call us because they want us to attend something to celebrate their achievements or to celebrate them? What happens, and how do we handle that? And I want to share that sometimes even good news is too much. Sometimes any type of information is too much. And it's not about the content, whether it's bad or good. Sometimes it's about capacity. Because there are times in our lives when we are navigating seasons that require our full attention. For example, there might be times when you're contemplating starting a new job, dealing with the illness, or maybe someone in your family is dealing with the illness and you have to make some critical decisions. Maybe it's some time when you are thinking about if you want to leave a marriage, if you want to start a new business, if you want to go back to school. There are times in our lives when we have to give everything we have to ourselves. We have to limit the amount of information that we receive from other people. We have to limit updates and invitations and considerations, even with people that we absolutely love, right? And so I want to talk about it because I'm having that situation in my life, as well as other people that I know are having that situation in their lives, where they are in very critical seasons where they're making decisions that can impact the next 2 to 5 to 10 years of their lives, if we are able to live that long. And when we are pulling back and making sure that we give all of our energy to ourselves, it's not because we're being selfish. It is not because we stop loving people. It simply means that right now, you need to attend to yourself. And you need all of yourself, all of your mind, all of your attention, and all of your spirits. And so a couple of things I want to share, 5 things I want you to really think about when you are pushing back on not only bad news, but good news, when you know that you need all your attention for yourself. I want to give you some 5 things to think about, because even if you might not be in that place, there might be somebody that you love, that you care about, that might be in that place. And I'm sure these 5 considerations might be helpful as you navigate this season with them. So the first thing I want you to remember is that information has weight. Information has weight. And just think about it. Many times we are overloaded with information. We have information from our jobs, information from too many emails, meetings, notifications. We have information from decisions we have to make. We have decision fatigue. Sometimes we have competing priorities as a parent, as a professional, as a partner. And some of those times when you are in a critical decision, you can feel bombarded. You can feel overload. And so even though we know that, yes, friends has wonderful news and you want to celebrate with them, and yes, someone needs your perspective, and someone needs some advice, and someone wants to share what's going on in their lives and offer you play by play. We have to be okay by saying that right now, I need a boundary. Right now, I don't have space to take in any more information, any more opinions, any more advice. I simply don't have the capacity to receive it. And we have to really be open and understand that information is heavy. And we have to sit back and say, what am I continuing to take in? Even when it's good, even when it's important, even when it's coming from someone that I love, even though I don't currently have the capacity to do it. We have to ask ourselves that question so we can not beat ourselves up, so that we can not be riddled with guilt, so we will not be riddled by obligation, and understand, you know what? I'm at capacity for bad, for good, for everything. I'm at capacity. And it doesn't mean that I am rejecting them. It means that I am trying to create space for more of me. So that's the first thing. I want you to remember that information has weight, and people are carrying a lot of weight of information from different aspects of their life. The second thing I want to just share is that we have to remember that there's accumulation of weight. For example, one person might say, well, I only wanted to talk to her, or I just wanted to tell her what happened. I just wanted to get her opinion. And you might be one person. But guess what? That person might get 7 to 10 of those requests a day. And there is a lot of accumulation of information, accumulation that people think time, it's just accumulation. And I think we forget that even though we want to talk to someone and we want their attention, we forget that there might be 10 other people who want to talk to the same person, and 10 other people who are asking for their attention, and 10 other people who are asking for their permission. And we also have to be honest. So sometimes we feel closer to people than they feel closer to us. So we're thinking like, why don't we have access to that person? And the person might think, well, I know you, but we're not besties. And so I'm saving my energy for my bestie. And so we got to be really, really careful that we appreciate that there could be an accumulation of requests that we don't know about. And so I want us to really think about this. Now, this is a hard part, and I wrote this down because I'm really navigating the situation in my own life as well as with some of my clients. And that is, affection for a person, or liking a person, does not automatically create unlimited access. I want to say that again. Affection for a person, liking a person, enjoying being around a person does not automatically create unlimited access to the person. And so you have to remember that people experience your request in combination of a whole bunch of other requests. And that accumulation can feel healthy for them, especially when they are navigating a tough season in their lives. So first thing to remember, information has weight. Secondly, they are getting maybe one request from you, but requests from 10 other people. And so we have to ask ourselves, am I evaluating my request by saying, oh, it's only one thing, SharRon, or is this one, I only wanted to speak with you very quickly, instead of really stepping back and acknowledging that your one request might not be heavy, but maybe they may be receiving 10 requests, 20 requests, and there's an accumulation for their capacity, and maybe they're pulling back just so they don't sink under the present moment or the pressure that they're navigating through. So that's the second thing. The third thing I think I want to really think about is that some seasons in our lives require us to withdraw. It doesn't require us to withdraw from you specifically, but maybe it requires for us to, the old people used to call it, to steal away, to pull back, to create some space. Because there are times in our life when we are reckoning with who we are. We are reckoning in our relationship. We are trying to reconcile how we're living with how we want to be. Sometimes we are trying to resolve a behavior, resolve a past, resolve something that is keeping us up at night. Sometimes we're trying to discern the moment so we make the best next decision, especially at a critical juncture of our lives, like relocation, relationships, retirement, how to reinvent ourselves. Those are critical, life-changing decisions. And so I think it's really important for us to think about, even though a person might look good on the outside and they're smiling and they're going to work and they're showing up at their faith community, at their sorority, fraternity, whatever they're doing, you don't know what else is going on with them. And so I think we have to be really mindful that we give those people space, but also it's important that you give yourself space and say, it's okay for me to pull back because right now I need to pay attention to my life. I need to pay attention to the clues in my life. I need to pay attention to what keeps showing up in my life so I can make decisions that might affect me next 2 years, 5 years, 10 years, 20 years. And we got to be okay at that time that you put yourself at the front seat of your life, that you put yourself at the priority at your life. You are number one, not because you don't care about people, but you care deeply about the decisions you have to make. And so I want you to ask yourself, what in your life is asking you to pay attention right now? And are you giving it the attention that it needs? Or are you allowing people to make you feel guilty because you're not celebrating with them? Or are they making you feeling guilty because you're not picking up the phone? Or they are trying to make you feel obligated that you're not talking on the phone with them or giving them advice? I want you to be really mindful about what you need at this season in your life and give that to you. Give it to yourself. You're the only one who can give that to yourself. And so the fourth thing I want to talk about is capacity is good stewardship. Protecting your capacity, honoring your capacity is good stewardship, right? I think we have to remember that capacity is infinite. We don't have unlimited capacity. It's limited. And so and your emotional energy, your wisdom, your listening, your availability, your compassion, it calls or pulls on that capacity. And just think, if you have only 10 units of capacity, for example, you can't give out 20. If you have 10 units of your capacity and you need it for yourself, you have nothing to give. It doesn't make you mean. It doesn't make you full of yourself. It doesn't make you selfish. It makes you a good steward, because honoring and protecting your capacity, your emotional, spiritual, financial, physical capacity is what we are required to do. Your wholeness, your wellness, your well-being depends upon you taking care of you. And so I want you to be okay with, if someone reaches out to you, you can text them and say, I'm happy for you. Text them, congratulations, I'm thinking about you. You don't have to have a guilt-driven phone call or go to attend a guilt-driven party just so people don't be disappointed. It's okay if people are disappointed, because you cannot borrow tomorrow's energy to help you satisfy today's expectation. I want to say that again. You cannot borrow energy from tomorrow to help you satisfy today's expectations of you that other people put on you. So know that depletion does not always happen because of one enormous demand. We become depleted because it's a series of small windows that we allow people in our space, a series of small yeses that rob us of our energy, a series of small phone calls that rob us of our time. It's not big yeses, it's the little small that accumulate along the way, that take our capacity. And so the reflection, the question we have to ask ourselves is, where are you spending your emotional energy? And are you spending in places not to disappoint others? And how is that disappointment affecting your depletion? Because it's okay to disappoint someone else if it means not draining you, right? So that's something I want you to consider. Number 5. The 5th thing I want to ask you is, we don't have to provide evidence or excuses to put up boundaries. We do not have to provide evidence or excuses to have a boundary. You can have a boundary and you owe no one an explanation. So when people ask you, what's going on? Are you okay? What happened? Why can't you talk? Why are you not coming to the party? We don't have to produce evidence to say, I have this long list of things to do. We don't have to show them our wounds so that they feel like we are hurting. We don't have to tell them our diagnosis. We don't have to tell them what we're going on in our marriage. We don't have to disclose any of that information. We don't. And it's important for you and I to be good stewards of our capacity, but also to honor ourselves and not to feel that we have to disclose every situation, but every concern, that we have to share and share so that people know that we really don't have time. We don't have to validate our boundary. Our boundary is our boundary. And we don't have to provide information to ensure other people accept it. And so we have to say, we have a boundary, and then we have to have the spiritual courage to enforce it. Courage to say, this is what I need, because you are allowed to say, this is what I need right now. This is what I need in this season. This is what I want to do. You do not have to prove how depleted you are. You don't have to share your wounds. You don't have to share your worries. You don't have to do anything to make people feel okay that you can't do something and you don't want to do something. And so we need to ask ourselves, where in our lives are we just oversharing? We're just oversharing, trying to help people be okay with our boundaries. Where are we giving too much information, trying to make sure that people are okay with our commitment to pull back, to say no, to say yes, to say not now? Where are we, in some ways, begging for us to have dominion over our lives by making sure everybody is happy, or making sure everybody is in agreement with us? You don't need agreement. So remember, you don't need to share your boundaries. When you share your boundaries, you don't have to give data, excuses, explanations. You don't have to give evidence, nothing. This is what I'm going to do. This is what I need. And that's all you can offer, right? And the fifth thing I want to say, or the sixth thing I want to say, is that it's okay to know that you want to be witnessed. For example, if something good happened to you and you're excited and you're celebrating, it's okay to want to call someone and have someone witness a celebration, or witness a hard time, or witness something that you're going through. Being witnessed is human. All of us in some way want to be witnessed, affirmed, seen, heard, known. That's human. I don't ever want you to feel badly about that. But here is where we have to be honest with ourselves. If we want to be witnessed by a person, by a specific person, and they don't have capacity to witness us, to celebrate with us, to hear our story, to give us advice, it's up to us to find another person who will witness us. Remember, we have to get what we need. So if we want to be witnessed about what's happening in our lives, and the person that we want to talk to doesn't want to hear it, or they don't have capacity to hear it, it's up to us to find another person to witness us. That's called maturity. That's called emotional maturity, social maturity. And we have to remember that our need to be witnessed should never be in a place that makes someone else obligated to listen to us. Nobody's obligated to listen to you. And so I think it's important to say, to be honest, I need to be witnessed. I want to be seen, heard. I want to be celebrated. And if this person can't celebrate with me, let me find someone, right? And it's also an opportunity for compassion for the person that maybe you want to talk to and she can't talk back, or you want him to listen to you and he can't listen to you back, because there's an opportunity for you to practice some compassion. And the compassion might be, what battles are they carrying that I don't see? What situations are they dealing with that I might not know? What are they carrying that I cannot see? Or what is it, right, that is none of my business that might be preventing them from showing up? That's where we can offer compassion to someone, right? Versus I called them and they didn't listen to me and they're being mean and they're being selfish. No, maybe they are at this critical juncture in our life, right? So if you want to be witnessed, find another witness. Find someone to sit with you and be present with you and celebrate with you. Take a leadership role in your own life versus trying to make someone else feel obligated to show up for you when they are struggling to show up for themselves. Yeah? So here's a question that I think is important. When we feel that we need to be witnessed by a specific person, ask ourselves, why do I need their validation? Do I need reassurance? Do I need advice? What's going on with me? Right? What story am I telling myself? And how can I be mindful and compassionate by understanding that the person I want to witness me might not have the capacity, right? So I want to close here. I know I gave you a lot to think about as you are navigating your own capacity right now, as well as considering the capacity of others. But here's a reflection that I'm really working on in my own life and working with my clients that might be helpful to you. And I wrote it down. Here's the question. What does your life need from you right now? And what might you need to temporarily let go of so you can give more of yourself to yourself? What does your life need from you right now? And what do you need to stop, even on a temporary basis? Where do you need to create distance, even on a temporary basis? Where do you need to push back, even if for just a short time, so that you can give more of yourself to yourself, so you have more space for yourself, right? Because nothing about having a boundary is terrible. Having a boundary is beautiful, and there are situations in our lives that your life needs all of you. Your life, your decisions need all of you. What you're going through needs all of you. And it doesn't matter if it is good, bad, or indifferent. You just don't have room for it, right? So this week, I want to invite you to do a capacity inventory. When you look around and you determine what is accessing your eyes, your ears, your heart, your mind, your body, where is your energy going? Here are 4 questions I wrote down. Ask yourself, what needs my energy right now? What needs my attention right now? What am I carrying that people cannot see? Right? What am I allowing in because I genuinely have capacity for it? And what am I allowing in because I'm afraid of disappointing someone? I'm afraid of being called selfish. I'm afraid of someone thinking I am rejecting them. Ask yourself those 5 questions and then give yourself permission to make just one adjustment. Maybe it is to return fewer calls. Maybe it is just to text instead of having a phone call. Maybe it is to stop having long conversations with people. Maybe it's to stop explaining your boundaries. Maybe it is to stop beating yourself up or guilting yourself for doing what you need to do. And maybe it's just to be quiet for a while because you are making a decision that can have long-term consequences. So give yourself permission. And if you are listening to this conversation, maybe listen again if you are in that space of not wanting to hear bad news, good news, no opinions, no advice from anybody. And if it doesn't resonate, but you know someone who's in this situation, share the podcast with them, because sometimes we see people who might need some support and maybe they won't listen to you. Maybe they just need another voice. I would love to be that voice for them. And if this podcast speaks to you, please subscribe to the podcast whatever you receive your podcast platform from. But also join me on YouTube. If you're listening to me on YouTube, if you have a question, please put your questions in the comment section and I'll do my best to answer your questions and share what I am learning and growing through as I navigate this season 2. And always want to invite you to join my newsletter where I will go into this subject in more detail, because this is a subject that I think we all are grappling with. And sometimes we just have to remember that sometimes in our lives, we need all of ourselves. We don't have any left over capacity for other people's conversations. We don't have any capacity to listen to someone else's life. We don't have any capacity to attend celebrations, even if we love people. Sometimes our life needs all of us and all of our energy and all of our attention as we are navigating critical seasons of our life. So I want to leave this with you. My benediction that I want to share, that I hope you listen to and take into your soul as I take it into my soul too. And it reads as follows. May you have the wisdom to recognize when your life is asking for more of your attention. May you have the courage to protect your capacity without turning your boundary into an apology. May you remember that love does not require unlimited access, and that caring for others does not require that you abandon yourself. And may you honor what is private, tend carefully to what is sacred, and resist the pressure to explain what you are not ready or willing to share. And when life brings you into one of those seasons of deep reckoning, discernment, healing, or change, may you give yourself permission to become quiet enough to hear what your own soul has been trying to tell you. And may the people who truly love you extend compassion when they cannot understand, and may you offer the same compassion when someone else's boundary disappoints you. Remember, protect what needs protecting, tend to what needs tending, and when your life needs all of you, may you have the courage to give yourself fully to it, knowing that the best is still yet to come. Yes. So thanks so much for spending time with me today. I hope this message resonates. And until next time, take good care of yourself and continue to dare to soar higher, trusting and knowing that it's okay to give yourself the best of you and all of you for this critical season of your life. Blessings.